Okay, everybody, it's certainly me, and it's certainly you. I love this part. So, yes, it is Friday morning, July 22nd, 2022. Why is July 22nd such a big deal? It's really not, but it just happens to be my freaking birthday. I am 57 years old today. Now, let me just tell you a little story. When I was a kid, back in the early 70s, one of my heroes, seriously, was freaking Knievel. I had one of those, stunt cycle things, and it was my favorite toy. I must have went through, 20 of these things during my childhood, which I seem to be reliving my childhood again because I found out that they make these things. They still make them. I bought this for myself, right here, for my freaking birthday. And I've been playing with this thing all over my freaking house. How many of you remember that? How many of you remember this Evel Knievel freaking stunt cycle? You remember this thing? You used to crank it up? This thing is the coolest. I'm still addicted to it. I mean, after like decades, I had no idea they still make these things. Anyway, so you know what I will be doing after this video? I'm going to be freaking firing my Evel Knievel stunt cycle all over my freaking house. Anyway, people, besides it being Greg Mannarino's birthday, and I still can't get over the fact that I'm 57 years old. Wow. All right, let's get back to this market. But I'm not talking about the stock market. I almost can't take it. The 10-year yield right now, I just looked at it, is 2.81. What does that mean? In the last 2 days, the 10-year yield has cratered 25 basis points. 25 basis points. I want you to think about what it actually means. Some mysterious, no one can figure out who's doing this, some entity out here with unlimited firepower, and I mean unlimited firepower, is buying epic, humongous, huge, off the freaking Richter scale amounts of debt. And I'm going to give you one guess yet again as to who is doing it. Why are they doing it? There's a few reasons why this is happening. What do we know is going on right now? I've told you this a million times. When the European Central Bank does something, the Federal Reserve must follow suit. So the European Central Bank has begun this week, it just started, an unlimited bond buying program. Okay. The Federal Reserve, even though they're not saying it, they're not announcing it, has to do the same. So the Fed obviously is involved in an unlimited bond buying program. Henceforth, why? With your own eyes. Remember, they're going to try to convince you that what you're seeing with your own eyes is not real. When you get a 25 basis point drop in the 10-year yield here, it should be obvious as to what is going on. Now, why is this going on? Well, like I just alluded to, there's several reasons. Number one, you and I, with our own eyes, witnessed an uncontrolled sell-off in the 10-year yield. We watched it go up over 60 basis points in a matter of a couple of days, and it hit the stock market very hard. Now, they will not allow that to happen. So European Central Bank and the Federal Reserve both got in here, started buying huge amounts of debt to keep those rates suppressed, to stabilize the debt market for now. And what this has done, quite obviously, you've seen the stock market, is create an environment of risk. That's all they want to do. An environment of risk means they want to force cash or push cash back into the stock market. Understand how this works, and don't call this quantitative easing. What's going on right now, obviously it's in our face, quantitative easing here. When a central bank is buying all the debt, and keeping rates suppressed. It deliberately creates an environment where cash will flow into the stock market. Now, we are out of bear market territory. The S&P 500 is not even in bear market territory anymore. And you got this again, $52 billion that is getting pumped into the tech sector via, the government subsidizing tech here. That gave a big boost to the tech sector. And the market is being, I guess you would say, effectively managed here, and in this sick, twisted environment. But anyway, what else would you expect? You expect elections to be real? You expect the market to be real? No, nothing is what it seems to be. I've been telling you this for the longest freaking time. And, your votes don't matter. Nothing matters anymore when you have this kind of an environment. And we're witnessing the fall of an empire. This is how every single empire in history, going back as far as you want to go, ends. Corruption. When you have a system of takeover, of complete control, where the people lose their ability to have a voice, well, you get a collapse of an empire. And that's exactly what we're seeing here today. And I think it's pretty evident. So let us move forward. On the back of this unbelievable move lower in the 10-year yield, Federal Reserve buying all the debt here. Stock futures are mixed. Last time I looked at it, trading doesn't start for about 32 minutes. Okay, so what's going on here? You got 10-year yield, 2.81. You got a dollar here, relatively flat. Futures, Dow futures are higher. S&P futures slightly lower. NASDAQ futures slightly lower here. Crude oil getting hit again here on the back of what's going on with Russia. Okay, whatever. I don't think it's going to last, but we shall see. You got gold and silver right now relatively flat, and you got Bitcoin and cryptos doing okay. Bitcoin around 24,000 right now. Is this rally in cryptocurrencies sustainable? Several days ago, I had said Bitcoin looked pretty good. That was somewhere around 21,000, or at just about 24. I mean, nothing major here when you look at the volatility in the crypto space. But we'll see. We will see if this has legs relatively soon. But I would like to see, as you all know, look, I will be getting back into cryptos. I'm going to start buying Bitcoin pretty soon. I want to see a pullback first. Let's say back to maybe 21. I'd like to see 21,000 hold a little bit, and that would tell me maybe it's a good time to get in here. Now, look, I'm not telling you to buy anything, or I'm just telling you my take on everything and what I am thinking about doing. Now, if you subscribe to my free newsletter, okay, link in the description of this video, you're going to know exactly what I'm doing. I've been buying, and I'm going to be honest with you, huge amounts of JEPI, ticker JEPI. And I don't always get it right, but I'm getting my mojo back. That JEPI ETF, Equity Premium Income ETF there, has done very well since I started buying it, since I told people what I was doing here. I think pays a tremendous dividend, and it pays it on a monthly basis. It's a nice way to get some cash flow here, and I really do like the dividend there. So I will be buying a lot more. I would like to see a pullback here with JEPI. And look, I'm not telling you again to buy this. Do your own research into it. It's very simple to do some research into this. I like how the fund is managed. They own large cap stocks, and how they get that dividend out of it is they're selling puts on those positions there, and it's a pretty cool setup in my view. And they have a couple of other things that they do. But anyway, like I said, I'm not telling you to buy this stuff. I'm just telling you what Greg Mannarino is doing. I told you what I'm considering doing with regard to cryptocurrency. I want to see a pullback here. I don't want to see it hold that pullback. With regard to precious metals, people, you know my stance on it will never change. I've been buying silver since it was I want to say close to $6. It's my favorite asset of all time. I will continue to buy it. I haven't bought any physical metals in quite a long time. I have a pretty good stash of this stuff. I have a lot of this stuff, and I'm not saying I'm not going to buy more, but I'm running into a storage problem here. I'd have to find some other place to keep it. All right, anyway, so with that said, people, look, I want you to focus your eyeballs like a laser on that 10-year yield. This is profound what we're seeing here in 2 days, a 25 basis point drop here. Fed is buying it all. And how they're doing that is very simple. They're not telling you they're doing this, but there's no other way to do it. They're creating cash out of thin air. They're adding zeros in epic amounts to a digital screen, and they're going out here and they're buying it all. Kind of like, in fact, exactly like the European Central Bank is doing in an unlimited stance. And I'd be willing to bet the Fed is also doing this in an unlimited stance. You can't know it. They will not allow you to understand what's happening at all. And I think that's pretty obvious too. And so the new, just before I let you go, the new scare is polio. You see in this whole thing, they found a case of polio here in New York. And that's going to be the next thing. And make sure you get vaccinated against polio. Oh yeah, it's really going to save the world. Look, they're not done. They're not done with their schemes here of crisis to crisis. It's crisis management economics. Crisis management economics. Everything is a crisis. And it demands that billions and maybe tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars be thrown at it. And that's the mechanism here. It must continue. Without it, the whole entire system implodes. Look, there's an issue here with regard to the banking sector, quite obviously. Look at China, okay? Just do your own research on that. You want to look here at what Wall Street banks are doing? They're desperate. They're desperate to raise capital. People are defaulting on loans. People can't pay their bills. But our economy is so strong. You know it is, because that's what the propaganda ministry is telling you, and that's what our mummified president is telling you too. Anyway, that's the story, people. This guy here loves you a lot. I covered a lot here. Now, for those of you that are about my age, is this the coolest thing in the world? Go get. I got mine from Amazon. Like, look, I'm not getting any money off of telling you about this, but this thing is freaking cool. I think there's a little bit of evil, and I mean as in Evel Knievel, and everybody about our age. It's the truth. I don't know about you. I was jumping ramps and doing crazy things on my bike when I was a kid, and I miss those times. But I'm still not too old to be running my Evel Knievel stunt cycle all over my freaking house, and I'm gonna do it as soon as I finish this video blog. Love you a lot, people. I mean that from the heart. I'll see all of you at the end of the day. Watch that 10-year yield.